Thanks for the countdown, Dad. I appreciate that. My dad's giving the countdown. Well, everybody, it's official. It's episode 82nd, according to my dad. And I have the man who said on episode 86 he was going to show up. So
82.
Thank you for being your word on it.
Yeah.
So the only way you do it is if you're episode 82, right?
Yeah, that's the only way.
Good reason.
Airborne.
Former paratrooper.
Yeah.
Joined tonight by former Army Sergeant Alan Doran. I'll start off with the bio like we always start off. So tonight, I have the honor of sitting down with former U.S. Army Sergeant Alan Doran, born and raised northeast of Columbus, Ohio. Alan grew up on a small farm as the oldest of 8 children, where your hard work and responsibility were part of everyday life. After graduating from Northridge High School in 2017, he enlisted in the Army in 2009 as a combat engineer, beginning a career that would take him across the world. He completed basic and AIT at Fort Leonard Wood before earning his airborne wings at Fort Benning and joining the 82nd Airborne Division, 1st Brigade Combat Team, the Devils in Baggy Pants. He deployed first to Iraq, serving in Ramadi and Al-Assad Air Base, and later in Afghanistan in the Ghazni Province. His service was marked with courage and distinction, earning multiple awards, including the Army Commendation Medal with V-Device for Valor, the Combat Action Badge, and the Parachutes Badge, among others. After separating from the Army in 2003, Alan pursued higher education, graduated from The Ohio State University with a bachelor's degree in 2017. He went on to work in agriculture and now serves as a commodity grader for eggs with the USDA. I didn't know that until now. Yep. Along the way, he's married to his wife, Shayla. Is that right?
Shayla, yep.
In 2017, together, they're raising 6 kids.
That's it.
Whew, that could be the whole episode.
You could probably make an episode about it.
3 boys and 3 girls. So please join me in welcoming Alan Doran to episode 82nd of Reports with Patriots. Thanks for coming in on such a, it's always great to have a Patriot. I think that's the way it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw the opening. I was like, if I'm going to be on, this is it.
How many months ago was that?
I don't know. It was a while ago.
It was a while, yeah.
I kind of threw it out there half jokingly. I'm like, the only way I'll come on is if I'm your 82nd episode. And then months later, you reach out to me and it's like, all right.
Because I was like, because logically made an idea. I do remember going back and be like, he did say he was going to do that. So we will definitely
take him up
his offer. So it's always fitting, since we have an 82nd guy here, we have to have 82nd quotes to start the episode, I think.
Absolutely.
So this is one of my favorite ones, and kind of both you and I were Devils, right? So American paratroopers, Devils in Baggy Pants, are less than 100 meters from my outpost line. I can't sleep at night. They pop up from nowhere, and we never know when or how they will strike next. Seems like the black-hearted devils are everywhere. So that's taken from a unknown German officer's diary outside of Anzio, I think. So very, very famous quote for us devils in baggy pants, and something we hold pretty dear, I think, for why we're the greatest brigade, the 82nd, right?
Has to be, yeah.
That's kind of how I have it. So as long as you're in the 325, you're okay with me.
Yeah,
not to make fun of those guys, but cool. So we'll start off. You're an Ohio guy. Grew up on the farm. Let's talk about that, because I think you're one of the first guys we've had that were growing up on the farm life. So youngest of 8 kids?
Oldest.
Okay.
Oldest of 8. And I'll correct you. You said I graduated high school in 2017. That didn't math. It was 2007.
Did I say? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
All right.
But no, you're good.
That'd make you pretty young, but yeah, thank you.
Graduated 2007, then 2009 went in the Army. But grew up on a farm, small farm, where we mostly raised crops and cattle. In my younger years, we raised a lot of hogs, upwards of 1,000 feeder hogs, where we'd get them as piglets and feed them out until they were larger. And then at some point, the market kind of tanked and Dad got out of that. But I mean, growing up as a younger child, having to go out and scrape hog pens every day and stuff like that, I mean, it taught me a lot, and a lot of hard work and responsibility at a young age, even because we were a smaller farm, but it was still there's still a lot to do. I mean, my dad bought, with the help of his grandpa, in 1988, 232 acres, and he did the best he could to keep that farm moving forward. It was a lot of work, and at times even came close to losing it, because there were some rough patches early on growing up, and it required, as soon as we were old enough to help with anything, we were out there helping.
Do you remember like the first stage that you were like out there, not like just running around, but actually like, hey, it's time for you to get to work out?
I don't have the best memory, but I'd say, I mean, is 7, 8 maybe if I could start scraping some pins or push a squeegee to squeegee out all the hog crap. Yeah, I mean, probably 7, 8, 9. I was out there doing whatever I could. And I mean, even probably 9, 10, 11, I'd be driving tractors and farm equipment around. So yeah, I mean, at a pretty young age, we were expected to kind of help out
because grow quick. And
yeah, because there's a lot to do. And Dad also worked a full-time job outside of the farm. So he worked all those years working for the USDA also full-time. So he'd come home and have to work another full-time job. And when we got to an age where we were able to help and carry some of the burden, it obviously was able to help him and make the load a little lighter.
So you're super excited to have 7 kids to kind of
and to have 4 boys for sure.
So did the girls have to work as much? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone in the house had their role. But I mean, as me being the oldest and some of the older kids, I mean, we were because it was 3 boys, 2 girls, boy, and then 2 more girls. So like us oldest 3 boys, especially as we got older, helped a lot with the farm, but also when Dad wasn't there or there wasn't farm work for us to jump on or have guidance to work on at the time, we would help in the home. So we were helping Mom with all the little babies and all the kids and stuff. So there was always something going on. There's no shortage. I mean, when you come from a big family, there's no shortage of excitement.
Yeah, because even at your age, 8 kids is a lot for the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, and you had my Uncle Josh on earlier, and he is the youngest of my dad's family. So my dad being the oldest of 13 and Josh being the youngest, Josh and I are like the same age, but we come from a very large family. So we're used to it. We enjoy it, obviously. And I've kind of continued that, I suppose, with having 6 kids. So
you got to catch up. You need 2 more.
No, I'm not catching up. I am done. Done.
Good.
But no, I mean, 6 kids, we realized we were at our limit.
Yeah, I would have been at the limit. I was at the limit, honestly, at 2.
I think we were.
Sorry, Gabe. I'm just saying to my son, but then my wife wanted 4, so 3 is a happy medium.
I think we were about at our limit 1 or 2 ago, and somehow we just kind of kept going. And it's like, you know what? I think maybe we need to do something about this. So we did.
We're done.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, farm life, it was good. It was a good upbringing, a lot of hard work and discipline expected of you, and a lot of hard lessons. When I was, I think I was 12, I was helping Dad on the farm, and I got caught in a piece of farm machinery and had a pretty big accident, which took me a while to kind of recover from. Luckily, no broken bones or nothing extreme, but I had that accident that I had to work through. And then I don't know, just there's always some cows. Yeah, when we started out, all the old fence rows for the cows were old, kind of decrepit fence rows. Cows would always find the weak point, so you're always chasing in cows because they're getting out and stuff like that. Since then, we've obviously put up better fencing, and now we don't have that issue as much. But growing up,
so that's still on the same farm.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Same farm. And we've added a little bit of acreage, so there's a little bit more cropland to farm now. But me, my brother, and my dad are still plugging away at it.
So going back to that, man, you got, a lot of responsibility. So I'm sure, you talked a little bit before the podcast that you were homeschooled for a long time. So on top of all these chores, you've got the farm chores, you got house chores, you got schoolwork. Did you ever feel like, did it seem normal, or, because I'm sure you were interacting with other kids, but did something seem, was it just how it was and you didn't really think much about it when you saw your friends? Or?
Yeah, I don't think we really thought a lot about it. That kind of just was our life at the time. We were still engaged in sports. I played baseball every year. And then I think a couple of my brothers also wrestled here and there up until high school. When I reached high school and started going to high school, I played baseball and football, and my brothers got involved in other sports as well. But until then, we still were playing little league sports and stuff. So we still had friends or met people, and but it just was our life. And then, but I was happy to finally go to high school and kind of expand that social network and whatnot. I think that was good for me.
So what do you think was the best part of, growing up in an atmosphere like that? As you've gone older, you got 6 kids yourself, you've done a couple of different things in the world. Like, what do you, if you look back at that, what is like the biggest lessons you learned? Like, what do you look back and say, like, man, I'm really glad I did this because of this, or,
As far as growing up, I don't know. I think just my dad instilled in us a lot of hard work. You got to work for it. And if it was easy, anyone would do it.
Yeah.
So you got to pick up the hard things and you got to have the discipline to see them through. And that was my dad through and through. My dad was a very smart man and a resourceful man. He could figure anything out. And we've tried to be half of that, me and my brothers. But it's a hard task. But we're doing our best, and we're still contributing on the farm today.
Does it sound like a good relationship with him, even though there was a lot of work and?
Yeah. My family has a great relationship. I think there's no division really in my family. We've always gotten along well. Even though now that we're older, we have our own families, we're busy, we kind of go our own ways to a degree, but we're still close. We still generally try to get together most every Sunday and have like a family dinner, which is good. Kind of helps keep us plugged in together.
Yeah, we just started doing that too. Now that the kids are out of the house.
Yeah.
Kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out how to get my dad here, but he keeps somehow finding it. But I was just seeing if he's paying attention. He is. But it is a great thing to kind of touch base and see everybody, and catch up on everything. My wife really loves it. She just gets to see them all again, and everything's great.
Yeah.
I don't think the guys love it. You could just come in and get a free meal and get out here, which I like too. But, I now like cooking, so it's not a big deal. But it is really nice to do that, and I'm glad. So, how many total grandkids does your parents have now?
My parents have. They got my 6. I'm gonna have to do some counting here. 6.
That's a lot of counting.
I think there's 17.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I think
that's a lot of grandbabies.
Yeah.
What are the age differences?
So my oldest, he's my stepson, and he's 16. He just turned 16, just got his license today, actually.
Oh, wow. Lucky you.
Yeah. It's been a relief.
let me know how you're feeling in about a week.
Yeah. Well, right now it feels good because now we don't have to do all the driving. It's a big release there.
That is the best thing, isn't it? It's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like,
well, he's involved in every sport there is, and like driving him to and from school every day, work now and all that. It's like, now he can drive and we're good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
you're free for that, but you're still in your mind, you're freaking out because he's out driving, but those days will come. So what's the youngest grandkid?
The youngest was just born. When was that? It's baby, few weeks old, maybe.
Wow. Awesome.
A month or so.
It's a lot of grandkids though.
It is. And they're still coming. There's another one on the way.
I'm sure they're loving that.
Yeah.
Loving that. So, you said that, the transition. So you family school, homeschool for a while. So you said you left to go to high school your junior year.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like?
It was a big adjustment.
Getting thrust into that.
It was a big adjustment. Kind of a culture shock for me, I guess, like trying to adjust from being pretty solitary as far as it was just my family, and playing sports once a year was good, but it wasn't enough. So I had to really come out of my shell a lot, and it didn't take me long. I made friends quickly, but probably took me a good year or two to really fully come out of my shell. And even then I think it progressed, and it took me years to kind of fully come out of my shell, but it was definitely good for me, and I was happy that we did go to public school come high school. And I kind of regret that I didn't go a little earlier, like at least freshman year, because my mom, I think, had planned to maybe homeschool us through. I don't know. And she reached a point, she was just like, you know what, you're all going to public school.
I'm done with y'all.
Yeah. So at least me and the 3 older boys, we all went to public school. So I went junior year, my younger brother went sophomore year, and then the next one, he was in 8th grade. So he went 8th grade, but it was good. I think we all adjusted well after a little while. It was something to work through though.
Did you think your brothers had the same struggle as well? Just that?
Not as much so, maybe. I mean, this is just me thinking. I don't know where they were at with it, but I mean, they got to come in a little bit earlier than I did and kind of make those adjustments as they progressed towards their senior year or whatever. And I think I probably struggled the hardest. And then like I also was at an age where like once I got out and got my license and all that stuff, I kind of went through a rebellious phase, just trying to like run away from home and like party and do my own thing,
And not work on the farm.
And not work on the farm. Yes. So there was a couple years that I just tried to not be around the farm. And I think I was just seeking my own identity outside of our family and the farm and just trying to find myself. And it took a while. I'm still finding myself.
Yeah. So what did mom and dad think about that? You're obviously the oldest, they've got the kids under you, mm-hmm. They had a hold of you a little bit, you know what I mean? I'm sure they felt like they instilled a lot of good things within. Yeah. They see were they really angry about it or kind of supportive, or was it a little bit of both?
My dad was relatively hands off. my mom, me and my mom butted heads a lot. So we would go at it here and there. And I think she was just kind of seeing what I was getting into and wasn't happy with the direction I was going because she wanted to see better for me. And I understand that now. But at the time, I just wanted my space. I wanted my freedom. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And but I mean, she just cared for me, and that was it. Yeah. And we butted heads over it.
Yeah, it sounds like the story of every teenage boy and girl, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think for with your situation too, I feel like there's a lot of grew up young, grew up fast, being that young and doing that kind of stuff, and just being like, what else is out there? I could see that could be something. What led you to the military? Anybody else in your family in the military? I mean, you have tons of uncles, it sounds like, and stuff. So
yeah. So my grandpa Doran was in the Navy. My grandpa Gallagher was in the Air Force in Vietnam. And then my brother that was 1 year under me. So I waited. I took a year after high school away from, or I didn't do anything. I just took a break. I enrolled and was gonna go to college at Ohio State right out of high school. I got accepted and everything, but I was at a place where I was like, I don't even know what I want to do or what I want to go for. And it seemed pointless to go when I don't know what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So I took some time off and pretty much just got myself in trouble over that course of time. But
I feel like I've heard this story before. But
yeah. Well, I reached a point where I was like, I can't keep doing this. I got to do something with myself. And I was 19 at the time. And my brother under me had joined ROTC. He was going to go through ROTC at Ohio State to become an officer. So it kind of started talking to him and Josh, actually. They were both doing it together. It kind of started there. It, I guess, put the seed in my head. And then just continuing to not really do anything meaningful. And I knew that I needed to do something. Mm-hmm. And then I had initially, actually, I wasn't pursuing the Army. I looked, because I did kind of have an idea of maybe what I wanted to try, and that was firefighting. And I was looking for a branch that would have like a firefighting opening. And so I went to the Air Force first because I heard that they might maybe have a firefighting component. I went there, and the recruiter just was not very helpful there. So after visiting with him a couple of times, not really getting anywhere, I went across the hall to the Army. And it started out, I was kind of trying to look for like a firefighting component with them too. And they were easier to work with. So I kind of stuck with them, but there wasn't really a firefighting component that was an opening for me, or I mean, wasn't even an opening in general. So we kind of went over the options and went through the process, and there were a few openings at the time, and they were still offering sign-on bonuses. It wasn't a large one, but they were offering some bonuses at the time. And the one that stuck out to me was Combat Engineer Paratrooper. So with the opportunity to go airborne after basic and all that. So I don't know. I thought it sounded cool at the time. So I jumped on it, and
It's like they gotcha.
yeah. Well, I maybe I didn't do my research enough, but at the time I was like, yeah, that sounds like might be up my alley. Some of what they showed me, or what I thought I saw, was like building, like construction, building bridges. There's no construction in combat engineering.
No.
But initially, I kind of thought maybe there might be a little bit of that.
I mean, they blow up shit. I mean, that's
that part was cool, I guess. But yeah, there's no construction in combat, and there's no engineering other than engineering explosives. But it was good. So I went that route. That I think when I went to go leave for basic, that was actually the first time I've ever flown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, been on a plane. The first time I flew was from Columbus to St. Louis, I think, to go to Fort Leonard Wood, which is kind of crazy because then I'm jumping out of planes a few months later. But yeah,
like 2 flights and let's just jump out of these things.
Yeah, fuck it, let's go.
So let's go back to 2009, right? Is when you enlisted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, I mean, obviously 2 wars are going on. Was that in your mind at all with all these things? You need to get your life on track, but there's a lot of shit that was going on. Was that even in the forefront, or was it just kind of like, I'm joining the Army and whatever happens?
I think at that point we had been in war long enough that I mean, since I was in 8th grade, maybe. So at that point, I don't really think I gave it like a lot of extra thought. It just kind of was what it was, and I knew what I was signing up for. To a degree, I knew that was an option, or not. Yeah, I knew that would be a possibility. So, yeah, I mean, I signed up. I knew what I was getting myself into, and yeah.
I think that's always like, I mean, that's amazing. When I hear the guys that were joining up right in the middle of, 2 wars, I'm always like, holy cow, that's because, I'm pre-war. So not that I don't think it would have stopped me from joining anyways, but it's just interesting that mindset of you guys all knew what it was. I mean, and we'll talk a little bit more when we get to it, but it's a high probability that, being a combat engineer, you're going to go to one of those 2 places. So
Yeah, and I don't know that I realized how quickly I would be deployed once we'll get to that, but yeah, I mean, I thought I knew the possibility was there of me getting deployed, but I didn't realize how quickly it would happen.
So anything you want to talk about at Fort Leavenworth or Fort Leonard Wood? I'm sorry.
Fort Leonard Wood. I don't know. I mean, obviously you get there, being 19 years old, not really having a lot of life experience outside of what I knew here in Ohio. It's a culture shock, and like you get to mingle with people from all walks of life. It's pretty crazy. But nothing too crazy. I'm lucky I didn't get in trouble because I would make money working people's extra security guard or night watches every night. So there's people that would pay $20, $40 for an hour of night guard watch. I don't know how it started, but it became an entrepreneurial possibility for a number of us. But I'd pick up shifts when and where I could, and I walked out of basic training with like a wad of cash that was illegal to have in basic training, but had like $1,200.
Just hide it everywhere so they can find it.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm lucky my wall locker didn't get tossed and they find it, but no.
I've never heard that of like people paying for.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
It was a thing.
I would think like they would like not want people doing that. Obviously,
no. No, they didn't want that happening, and you were not supposed to like possess like wads of cash, so like me having that felt a little sketchy at times, but I'm like, man, I'm making money. This is too easy.
You're like to your bunkmate, you're like, well, you hold this in your locker, I'll give you $20. So.
There are kids in basic that had no concept of what money was. So like they'd throw money, you'd go out in the field and pull open MRE and there'd be some Skittles or M&Ms in there, they'd throw you $20 for a bag of M&Ms. It's like, dude, what? Take them. It was crazy.
I see your whole protective match is full of cash all the time.
Yeah.
$20 for these, who wants these? I mean, I could see it, but I just didn't think it would start in basic where they're
yeah.
Wow, I don't think I had to pay $20 for Skittles.
Oh, I wouldn't
especially
either.
out of an MRE.
Yeah. No.
I don't think anything out of an MRE I paid $20 for.
Nothing. Yeah, you have to be pretty desperate though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's nothing worth that.
No.
Not even $10.
No.
Maybe $10. Maybe like a good meal. Like I had the stage where I really loved the Frankfurters, as gross as they were, but you throw some hot sauce on them.
Yeah.
That was like a decent one. But
see, my favorite one at the time I was in was the Southwest style beef and black beans. Because if you toss it all together just right, it's like a field version of Chipotle. It wasn't great, but it was okay. It was good.
I love the MRE talks because Nate's not here. One of the board members, we have some MRAs back there, and we made him eat one day.
Yeah,
him and Josh were trying them, and the face that he made is like it looks like we still have it as in like a picture that we'll post up every while. But he was just like, this stuff is awful. I'm like, yeah, imagine eating that 3 times a day.
Yeah,
I mean, because there's a point you start to like them too, because you're just so hungry.
Well, yeah, it is. It's just a fact of being hungry, and that's what's available. So it's that or go hungry.
The field version of Chipotle. I've never heard that one. So
yeah, Southwest style beef and black beans.
So you go to Leonard Wood. You're learning you're learning that combat engineering has nothing to do with engineering or anything you thought it was.
Yeah.
So when did you start realizing or hit you that not only that, I'm going to go jump out of airplanes? Did you start getting a little like, what did I get myself into?
The funny thing is, through the course of me going through basic, I think I had forgot that the airborne school was part of my contract, or at least I think I did, because
you were too busy making bank.
Yeah, I was too busy making bank, and no, I think I partially forgot that I was in airborne school because I was so wrapped up in basic. And then when we get through basic and AIT, because they were conjoined, then they called off people going to airborne school, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that in my contract. All right, let's go.
So you head on down to Fort Benning.
Yeah. And I had some buddies from basic that followed me down there. There was one guy who was a good friend of mine, and he ended up sustaining a rib injury in airborne school. He might have had part of it from before airborne school, but he tried to tough through it, and eventually it got to a point where he couldn't hide it anymore, and he ended up getting kicked out of airborne school at least. But and then I had a couple other buddies that actually went on to serve in my same platoon in the 82nd that came from basic airborne school all the way to 82nd with me, which was cool. But
yeah, because the airborne schools are the greatest thing, because it just starts off from like the highest ranking person down to all the way down to the lowest ranking in your stick. It's just so crazy.
And it pulls people from Marines.
Yeah.
I mean, all over the place. Navy. I mean, Air Force. So everyone's going. So you're seeing people from different walks again. Yeah. But no, it was fun. And I, having only flown once, essentially, before that, I felt like I did pretty good through airborne school. Like I wasn't like overly nervous. Like I kind of just knew that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
And the door's in front of you, like, you're going. you got to go.
Yeah, because I think during airborne school, everything's so hyped up. Like it's so hyped up, and you're so regimented. I don't think you I honestly, like those jumps. All I was scared about was getting hurt, but not actually the jumping out of the plane. It was like, just don't get hurt or whatever. But yeah, it doesn't get till later. I felt like is when you start getting like, oh shit, what are we like really doing here? It gets a little like hectic. But I feel like they just have your mind focused on so many, what to do if something happens. It's just like.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, basic through airborne school, everything was just kind of a blur. I was just, one thing after another, everything's new to me. The whole culture is new to me. Like, I don't know. So everything's just a blur, and I'm just doing what I need to do one step after another. And so going out the door wasn't really a big deal. Although there were people that would probably overthink it and get nervous or want to back out. I don't think I saw any, but there are some. But I just knew when that door opened, I had to go.
Yeah, we had a guy, I think, that like was like probably, I think, like the second jump or third.
Yeah.
Like you remember they'd back the aircraft to the green ramp, and then they'd open the door and, you'd go. But when they opened it up, like, here came this fully combat equipped jumper, and we're like, oh my God. And they just went ballistic. Like, you'd never seen before. And like, oh my God. Like, and then you're just like, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy. It was like, and it was a bad day for him. He ended up actually, rigging it back up and doing it, but it's just I mean, I can imagine, like,
no,
you're not supposed to come this way through that door. I feel like you're going there. So what was it like reporting to the 82nd?
It was an interesting story. So I think we got bussed up from Benning to Bragg. Excuse me. Got bussed up, and I get there, and on my orders initially, I was supposed to go to the 20th Engineer Brigade, which is also there at Bragg. And when I show up, and I didn't even know I had this on my orders, but they're like, oh, you have hometown recruiting. You're supposed to be home for 2 weeks before you report. I'm like, oh, really? I get to go home? So obviously I was excited to go home for a couple weeks and be attached to a recruiter and help them for a couple weeks, whatever. And then, so I go do that, which was great after being gone for the first time in my life for as long as I was, and being away. It was nice to be back for a couple weeks and get a break. But then I had to go back. So
what was the reception like coming back home?
It was good. Yeah, I mean, I mean, just getting to see family again, go visit some friends that I haven't seen in obviously a handful of months. It was good. It was fun. But then duty called and I had to go back to Bragg. And the
question is, did you trick anybody else into joining the Airborne
no.
in that 2 weeks?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
Although I did have a couple buddies that I think I had talked to about like going airborne or whatever, what I was doing, and they were excited about it. One of the guys actually, I don't know if it was because of that. It probably most definitely was not, but he ended up joining the military and going like Green Beret and stuff. So that was cool for him. But no, I mean, I did that and go back down to Bragg, and I get down there and they're looking at my orders and they're like, well, actually we're going to move you to the 82nd because the 82nd is trying to recruit more manpower for their deployment, and wasn't really registering with me at the time, but they obviously need to move me units. And I get there and they're like, all right, well, you got 9 days to get ready. We're going to Iraq. So I had 9 days from like getting placed to my unit to get all my shit together they give you packing list after packing list. Hey, you got to get all this stuff ready to go because we got 9 days. So that was kind of a slap in the jaw and a lot to process at the time. Really, I don't think I ever had time to process it.
Yeah.
Because it's go, go, go. And you got this whole packing list and everything to get ready. And you're like trying to process it, but you're also like you're getting smoked or whatever by your NCOs every day because you're expected to also know stuff that you probably didn't learn at basic training in AIT, all these tactics, techniques, procedures that you're going to be using within this unit that you may have never learned. So there's information overload.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm having to digest all this stuff at once. And even into theater, when we get to Iraq, like I'm still trying to learn and process and digest information. So it was, a lot to work through there initially. But
is there a party that was overwhelmed, honestly, about it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think you kind of get used to being overwhelmed a little bit, even basic on, like, mm-hmm. especially when I don't fully know what to expect coming into it, and then you kind of just get thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're overloaded from the beginning, and then getting thrown to airborne school, overloaded, thrown to Bragg, overloaded. So like you kind of get used to just not thinking, but just moving. Mm-hmm. Just move and process later.
Yeah, because that's a tough thing. I mean, it's easy to say that now, and like when I process, I can just imagine you're 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, right?
Yeah, I think I turned 20 tail end of basic. So
yeah, you're like showing up to the 82nd, which in 2009, those guys are probably 2010 already deployed. These units are already deployed multiple times.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so you're just getting thrown into the mix of dudes that are like,
I think
it's go time.
I think at the time when I was in, they were saying, and I mean maybe it's changed or whatever, I don't know, but at the time, 1st Brigade 82nd was the most deployed unit in the Army. So I mean, they were always on the go, and I mean I got 2 in 4 years, so yeah.
So with all the the hard time they're giving, did anybody like take you under the wing and be like, okay, here's what you need to do, or is it
yeah,
really out there to the wolves, you know what I mean?
I mean, kind of to the wolves, yeah. There are guys that would kind of try to help me or nudge me here or there, but I mean, by and large, I mean, I had to be on my game and try to pick up and learn stuff quickly. And I mean, obviously there's help, but I'm also the new guy, so
Yeah.
I'm going to get razzed all the time and a little bit of hazing, light hazing maybe, but it was good.
Yeah, they were hazing, I bet, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But so what was it like getting in with the guys? So yeah, I mean we've talked about before. Some people talk about you're the youngest person, the new person, you're going to get shit on.
Oh yeah,
you're going to get harassed. Like, what was it like trying to just break in with the guys in general, just to try to get to know them, because a lot of them have probably been together for a while. I mean, 9 days in,
a lot of them have.
You're kind of an outsider, There
were other guys that were relatively new. There's definitely one other guy that got there maybe just before I did, and there was a handful of other younger guys. And I noticed that even on our second deployment, they like last minute pull in some new recruits, and it's like, why couldn't you staff this earlier? I don't know, like so we could like train with these guys and get them acclimated. But last minute they're pulling people in just to fill the rosters and head out. Yeah, I don't know. What did you ask?
I think you answered, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, what? So when did you start feeling like you had some feet underneath you or knew what the hell you were doing?
Like
2 years later? Not gonna,
yeah, probably. Probably. I mean, 9 days and I'm deployed in Iraq, and it probably took at least 6 months in Iraq before I felt like maybe I had my feet under me a little bit, and was able to kind of digest where we were at, kind of get on top of learning everything I needed to. Yeah, but
so 20 years old, being over there, were you scared at all? I mean, when you first got there, or does it just still mind is spinning too much?
I think my mind was spinning too much. I mean, wasn't scared. I don't feel like I was ever really scared. It was just trying to process what was in front of me all the time. And we were just, constantly moving forward. So I didn't really give it a lot of thought. Just trying to keep moving.
So anything significant during that deployment to Ramadi or Al-Assad?
Not really, which was probably best for me, being 20 years old, thrown to the wolves, going to Iraq with no real experience or anything. We happened to be in what were formerly some pretty hot areas, Ramadi and Al-Assad. Prior to me being there, I think 06, 08, those were some really hot areas. But when we got there, I'm not sure what it was, but the time we were there, it was pretty calm. And I think the war was kind of winding down there in Iraq. Wasn't a whole lot. I think we never really took a lot of like fire. We hit like one real small IED with our mine rollers that were out in front of the vehicle, but that wasn't anything. And then there was so we did route clearance primarily. So we were clearing the route. Occasionally we would get attached to like an infantry unit as dismounts or something to assist them, but mostly we were doing route clearance almost every day. One day we were clearing a route, and on our way back, we crossed over a bridge, got back in to the into the yard, and then like as soon as we got back into the yard, so this was like probably 15-20 minutes after we had crossed over this bridge, a big intelligence said it was like 1,000-pound IED was under the bridge and went off, which is pretty crazy. Like we were just on that bridge and it got wrecked. Other than that, Iraq really wasn't anything, but it was good for me because it was a young private getting experience on just the experience of deploying. and just moving to another country and the whole the whole experience of moving, living in another country, and knowing my job. So I got to learn a lot without like being under constant fire or anything, which was good. But then I guess the one fun thing we got to do in Iraq was we got to jump in Iraq.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
I mean, obviously not a combat jump. It was supposed to be a training jump with the Iraqi army, and it didn't pan out for the Iraqi side, so we just did it.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool, though.
No, it was cool. So we jumped out in the desert in Iraq, and they obviously put out security around our drop zone, and we dropped. And I mean, it wasn't even like a combat load. We just jumped Hollywood.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it was super easy. It was fun. Something to put on your resume, I guess. I don't know.
So, I mean, what was the worst part of that deployment then, other than you just learning? Is that really the hardest part for you, is just kind of getting your feet on the ground? And because, I mean, you know, all that stuff at 20 years old, and I mean, not to, I like to make jokes about it, but the 80 seconds, pretty fast tempo. I mean, people are, I mean, I feel like everybody knows fucking around. So it's like, you gotta pull your weight or there's gonna be a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there's very quickly a problem if you're not getting up to speed.
Yeah.
But the hardest part, I don't know, for me, especially being at that age, like I had already been gone for a few months with all the training stuff, but knowing that I couldn't go home and like I was going to be away from home for a long time. And especially looking back, I mean, we didn't deal with anything really big in Iraq, but it was just the fact of being gone for 12 months, because that was my longest deployment. Afghanistan was 6 months, which wasn't as bad time-wise. Iraq was a full 12 months. We did get a little like R&R leave where I got to come home for I forget how long it was, maybe a couple weeks or something, which was nice. I think that was, but I did it like on the early end of my deployment. I think we deployed in August, and that was like in November. So then I had the whole rest of that 12 months to stay over there.
I got to imagine it was hard to be with the family. Never been away much, you know, big family, on the farm together all the time. So yeah, it was
an adjustment for sure. And just, I don't know.
What'd you learn about yourself during that deployment?
What I learned about myself? I don't know. Just that if I can do that, I can do a lot of things, I guess.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's I mean, I feel like if anybody gets dropped into that scenario, if you come out without drowning, you kind of learn something about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you come back. How long do you spend at Bragg again before you head back out to Afghanistan?
We get back in September of 10, and then we didn't deploy again until March of 12. So close to a year and a half, or about a year and a half. Yeah.
We're talking before the podcast. You got to, we're talking a little bit about the old All-American Week.
Yeah.
You're one of the first people I know that missed the run that is still alive, I feel like.
Yeah. That might have, just because of deployments, that might have been the only division run that I was going to participate in, because I think we were deployed for the other ones. But we had a singles weekend away where they sent all the single soldiers just to go catch a break, and we went to Myrtle Beach, and a lot of boozing obviously there. And luckily I was not the only one. I had a buddy of mine that shared in this experience, but we were just wiped from the weekend. And we get back to and I was living in the barracks at the time, and we get back to the barracks and we just crash out. And I don't even know if I was like aware or paying much attention. I had to have known that there was a division run the next morning, but I apparently did not set an alarm, and neither did he. So both of us slept through the division run. Obviously got in a lot of trouble, but luckily didn't get in any serious trouble. We might have gotten screwed up from that.
Because I just laugh because, I mean, you probably have been the only two people sleep in your barracks, or maybe like 10 of them, because it's like the craziest
Yeah, for
run
those
that
that
you can
don't know,
imagine. Yeah, it's like,
Division Run, All American Week is like a huge deal. It's a big dog and pony parade throughout the entire week, and it kicks off with the Division Run, where the entire division of 22,000 plus paratroopers are out on the road running. And
the cannons going off,
Yeah.
aircraft. I don't know how you sleep through that. I mean, that's pretty.
yeah, I
It
don't
sounds
know.
like a war is going on down.
Yeah, because we were just, like a block away from our dens. So obviously this was pretty close.
They're like, where the fuck is Doran?
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of that. Yeah, me and my buddy. But,
And then there's at a point where you got to just forget about it. Like, I mean, you just got to, because it's a big deal. It's like, it's the craziest.
Oh, I was nervous because I'm like, oh man, we're in trouble. We just missed the division run. But no, we made it through. Luckily, we had some NCOs that, obviously got on us, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse because 82nd takes things like that pretty seriously, and it's not hard to get in trouble for something like that.
It's not hard to get in trouble at all in 82nd. If you think about everything you can do.
Yeah.
You're not walking fast enough. You're not doing this fast enough. But I did look back at it. Was the unit that all serious, like you said before, is like it's a quick tempo, man, and like it really is true. Like you gotta jump on the highway, the super highway, and just like get on it, or like
there's not room.
You're gone. Yeah, it's
there's
like
not room to
weird,
overthink things. You just gotta move. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that gets thrown at you, and it's just like sometimes I'd be like, what are we doing? Like what? Like okay, okay, fine,
Yeah,
but,
you gotta be good on your feet and go with the fly.
You gotta be able to run too. That's
definitely gotta be able to run. Yeah, Ardennes.
Not even like running, you just gotta be able to run.
Yeah. I didn't going into the Army. Running was not something I enjoyed or thought I would like, and even. I got better at it. I got pretty good at running actually. And, but it was the 82nd that I think I started to like, okay, I think I enjoy it to a degree.
I felt like when I got out of the Army, I was like, I'm not running again. I'm not doing a push-up. So I started running. I ran for a long time. I haven't ran in a while now, obviously, but actually I did on Sunday, and I literally strained both of my quads, I think. So
yeah, well, you're better than me. I've not ran in a handful
so
of
we
years.
talked about Sunday dinner. We started saying we'll go for a family walk. So there's construction going down by my house, and there's a speed limit sign that reads your speed. So everyone, like last time I went by, everyone was making a joke. Well, then two of my sons are my two oldest there, so they start running by it. Then my wife does it, and they're like, you go. So I was like, okay. So I run, dude. I'm telling you, I don't even stretch. I just take off, and I feel it right in my quads. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, you get older.
I was like, my son's like, what happened to you? I'm like, and even my dad was giving me a hard time about it. But I'm still sore today. I'm like, whoo.
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to think about that.
Yeah. Got to stretch.
There's a whole 110 yards I went before that happened. And it was probably like 25 feet. And I was like, whoa, we need to shut this down. But he did run a lot there.
Yeah, I was in the best shape of my life between Iraq and Afghanistan deployments because I just worked out. That's all I did. I lived in the barracks, and I'd take like a 7-mile loop run to the gym, go work out at the gym for 2 hours, and then run another like mile back to the barracks. So I was in great shape at that point.
Yeah, it was a great it was a great opportunity. You are training. That's part of training. Physical fitness is big there.
Right.
I don't really see many heavy set paratroopers.
No, there's a few, but they don't always stick around.
They're not there for very long, but
yeah.
So how many jumps did
I have?
Yeah, in that time frame.
My entire stay, I think I might have had 24 jumps, maybe.
Any bad ones?
Yeah, had one. Not severely bad, but there's one jump. It was stateside jump, and I think we jumped Hollywood even. Or I can't. Yeah, I think it was Hollywood. And we were the last flight to go out because there was an incoming storm and they were scratching a bunch of flights. But they're like, we'll squeeze one more out. Go on. And literally, like, you're looking out and you're seeing the storm rolling in. And we get out there and we're jumping and the winds are whipping up. They're getting bad. And so I'm just oscillating. And when it comes to the ground, like I'm on the upswing of my oscillation and I just smack my hip straight into the ground. That was the worst jump I've had. I think I had one minor one in airborne school, maybe but I was all right. But that one, I never went to sick call for anything the entire time I was in, except for that. Because
you get flown,
because I couldn't
smashed on the ground 25 feet.
Yeah, well, I couldn't run. I was like, I got to go to a sick call because I can't run. I can't. There's no way I'm doing PT. No way.
Yeah. I always just think about I'm way bigger than you are, so I feel like you guys had it easier. The smaller you were, the better it was. I feel like,
yeah,
I mean, the less weight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always like, but I remember I had one like that too, and I got out of a Chinook.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to German jump plane. It's the same thing happened.
Yeah.
The wind caught me and I oscillated like that, and I landed so hard and it knocked the wind out of me. And I couldn't even breathe, and I started laughing. So people came running over, and I'm just like laughing because I'm like, I literally got from like 25 feet just slammed on the ground. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it's rough.
And I just wish, like, you see it now. I love watching the videos now where you see the guys that are jumping with like GoPros, and you get to see that
that's cool. Yeah.
because you're like, that would have been so great at the time, because some of these you're like, what are we doing? Like this is crazy.
Some of them are a little wild. I had a Chinook jump, and for my experience, the Chinook jump was my best jump. Like, it was jumping off the back ramp was just like peaceful, as opposed to going out the side of a C-130 and just getting smacked by the wind. Like, I don't know, that jumping off the back of the Chinook was awesome.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I think they're all. I mean, all the helicopters are fun. I mean.
I didn't do a Black Hawk. I wish I would have, but I
got the one jump. I gave up a Black Hawk in the water, and I regret that one. That would have been. I would have really liked to have done that one, but one of my NCOs really guilted me, and I felt bad, so I let him do it. But
there was one jump we had to do some water training for because. Have you ever been to the 82nd Airborne Convention?
No, I've never went to the convention.
I've never been outside of in the Army. There was one year we went, and because they wanted people to jump for the convention. So I went and did that, and we were jumping along like the river there. We were in West Virginia, I think it was Charleston, and so we had to jump along there. But I mean, that was easy. Convention was fun.
Yeah, what was it like going back to the conventions?
I mean, that was in 2010, maybe early 2011. I don't really remember a lot about it.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, as much as we make fun of All American Week, I loved when you run into the old paratroopers. They were my favorite.
I don't think this was during All American Week.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, the convention, I can't remember when that is, but it was fun. I mean, it was interesting. I don't remember a lot. There might have been a little drinking. I don't remember.
No.
Yeah. But
was drinking a big part of the culture?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, especially while you're living in the barracks. Yeah, definitely. I think I did pretty good about not getting too out of hand in the barracks, but there were definitely some that didn't know how to handle their own, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's definitely one of those things that there's not a lot to do, and that seems to be one of the best ways to numb from things. And
fitness and nighttime drinking. Yep. Yeah. That's it. Not a whole lot else, especially
what can go wrong.
Yeah, right. Especially in the old barracks, because when I first got there, for the first couple of years, we were living in some old like 1950s barracks that were just a block room, 2 people to a room with a wall locker and a bed and not much else. And then towards the end, like as I was getting ready to get out, or actually right before we deployed, I think they put us in some deployed to Afghanistan. They built some new barracks down the road, and we lived in those. And those were actually really nice because they had their own individual rooms with a common area that had fridge, microwave, countertop, shared bathroom rather than a community stall. Yeah. So those weren't bad.
Change up. So you ready to talk about Afghanistan then?
Yeah. I'm going to Afghanistan.
So what was that deployment like?
A lot different than Iraq. Yeah. We left in March of 12, and we deployed to Ghazni, Afghanistan. So we come into Bagram, do our initial unloading there, I guess, and have these huge transient tents, which were something. Hundreds of people staying in this huge transient tent, bunk beds, whatever. We were there for a few weeks. And the cool part is that I got to meet up with my Uncle Josh because he was also down there. He was down in Kandahar, but he was able to jump on a mission coming up north and got to come up to Bagram, got to hang out with him for a handful of days. Yeah, handful of days, which was fun to be able to see a family member in Afghanistan. I mean, how many people get to do that? And one thing that's always been in our family has been the Friday night pizzas. And he probably even talked about this on his podcast. I don't remember. But so we always do Friday night pizza at the Dorans. So they had some really crappy Pizza Hut pizza over there in Afghanistan. And we grabbed ourselves a little mini pie and had Doran family pizza in Afghanistan. So that was fun. But sorry, got a little something going on.
Yeah. Okay.
But so we do that, and then we're there we're probably in Bagram for a little while. We work through some small trainings and stuff. Then we move down, go through FOB Airborne, going down to Ghazni. We get to Ghazni, and then we go to some smaller remote FOB, FOB Aryan, which is where our home FOB was. We did a lot of moving around at times, go to some smaller combat outposts and other FOBs. We spent some time at Ghazni. Then we went down further. I think it was Mercor or something like that. We go down south, which is where our sister platoon was. They were down there, and we were at FOB Aryan. So we get to FOB Aryan, and it's, if I remember right, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the winter months. It's wet. It's just nothing but mud everywhere. It's so everything's a mess. You trudge all this mud into the tents. Everything's just muddy and a mess. And later in the summer months, as it dries up, all that just turns into moon dust. So there's just dust everywhere. It's super dusty. All the vehicular and foot traffic help keep it dusty as well. So, but get there, we do left seat, right seat ride with the outgoing unit, which is usually how it goes on a deployment. You're going to be replacing a unit, do left seat, right seat. And right away, I think with those left seat, right seat rides, we already knew like this was going to be a different deployment, because the first deployment or the first mission we run with the left seat, right seat, the other unit, I think we go down south towards that Mercor FOB, and there's the outgoing unit kind of made fun of it. I don't know if they lost anybody or not. I can't remember, but there's this area they called the playground where there was always, if you went out and messed around in there, there'd always be some action. There'd always be a little firefight or something. So we did, they kind of showed us the playground, and we went out there and kind of got in. There's some people that got into a skirmish. I was riding as one of the passengers. I don't think we as the incoming unit did a lot of the dismount with the dismounts. But we were already taking, and we were taking like some mortar or recoilless rifle rounds. One went off like right on the right hand corner of our truck and caught some shrapnel. And I mean, little did we know what we were getting into the rest of the deployment, but a couple of us were joking around like, did we just get our combat action badge? Yeah. Like, what? I mean, some shrapnel hit our truck. What's up? But I think our E7, one of the platoon sergeants for the other platoon, was like, nah, just you'll get yours. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's not going to be today.
Yeah,
you're going to get it.
Yeah, you'll get it. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of time for that. So we do that. We load back up. We get out of there. Nothing too crazy, but kind of what the outgoing unit was doing TTP wise, and kind of what I kind of merged with what we had already developed going into the unit, talking to some other units back at Bragg that had come from this same area as well, is where we'd mostly be dismounted. You'd be riding MRAPs. You'd have Mine Roller, Husky, Buffalo. And then we'd also have, when you have like the named area of interest, the NAIs, when you come up to those, you would dismount, and you'd have a series of dismounts. And there's some equipment that we use. One's called a Goldie that you hold to the ground, and it would pick up the signal from a command wire, something running out to the road. So that would pick up command wires. So we'd have that dismount in a Y formation in front of the convoy. That way you could pick up command wires before a truck would hit it.
Yeah.
So we had that as well as other security elements along that dismount. And then, so that's which was different than Iraq, because Iraq, we didn't do any of that. It was
We didn't do any of that.
No,
we did nothing like that.
No, it was mostly all mounted for Iraq. We might have done some small dismounting, but not much. Afghanistan, we realized talking to other units and before we got there in this unit that like that's kind of what we have to do.
Yeah, so safe.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if people caught on the bio, but you do have the Army Commendation Medal with the V device. So do you want to talk about that? You know, what brought that on, or any significant story on that, or?
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Yeah.
There's a few stories. I guess I'll get to that one. But anyways, we get through the left seat, right seat, and we get through the left seat, right seat, and it's we're set out to do our first mission solo by ourselves. And this was the most impactful mission on our entire deployment. We go to head north up towards Ghazni. Actually, we packed day bags because we were going to go to Ghazni for a mission, which was a good little trip. I forget how many kilometers it was away, but it was like, if you're going up all the way that way, you might as well stay. You're not going to go up there and come back all in one mission. So we went up to Ghazni, and but along the way there was a little village called Mushaki. We came up on that, which was a named area of interest, and we got out our dismounts and started our way through that area of operation. And it wasn't long into that dismounted operation, and I was a gunner on that one, but wasn't far into that as we got into the village slightly. It was kind of the outskirts of a village, but our dismounts had taken some fire. And I mean, a lot of us that were mounted or probably even on the other side of dismounts probably had little to no clue what had happened. The only thing we heard over the radio was KIA, KIA, KIA. And so everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, obviously there's some scrambling around trying to figure out what's going on. One of the squad leaders on that side was the one that made the call. We had an outer security, and this is one of the TTPs that we ended up having to change because it just, obviously with this just wasn't going to work. We had a heavy gunner on the outside security, which was maybe just too cumbersome for the far outstretches of this Y. And he ended up, he's the one that went down the outer security that was carrying the 240, the heavy gunner. And then there's a squad leader and then another security guy. The KIA got shot in the shoulder and in the head, and went down instantly. And then one of the other guys on the outer security also got shot in the head. Luckily for him, his helmet saved his life. It hit his helmet and ricocheted through the inside of his helmet. And other than being pretty shooken up, he was all right. But then our truck, and it was just me, the gunner. And at the time, it wasn't gunners up in Crow Nest. We had this Crows system, which was like a remote operated gunning system. So we had that, and so I could kind of scan ahead and look with the cameras and find out where we're at, where we're going. And they tasked our truck with going out to the scene to provide further security and to pick up the KIA to move him to an offsite place for the bird to come. And we get out. My driver, and it's just me and him. I'm a senior E4 at that point, and he's just like a PV1, fresh out of basic, getting there. And So he was pretty shooken up. He was nervous. I mean, we all were, but I kind of just had to take the lead on that and like kind of direct him and tell him, hey, you got to push through. You got to get through here, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so we push up, finally get over to the outskirts where this guy, where the squad leader is. And you get up to kind of this clearing in the village, and there's his body just laying in the clearing essentially. And then you got a squad leader pinned up against the wall of a building on one side, and the other dismount that got shot in the head. He's kind of laying in a ditch behind a wall. But he said he was all right. And we get up pretty close to the body, and I'm scanning and providing security with the with the gun. And then my platoon leader, my lieutenant, also was on that side, and he comes out and he's kind of directing like things to get him mounted, loaded back up. And so I had to actually dismount from the gun to kind of help him pick up the body, get him on the stretcher, and get him loaded up into the MRAP. And we had to drive him like another 5-10 kilometers down the road to get to a safe spot to have a bird land and take him. So I had to drive for like 5 to 10 kilometers with him just laying right next to me. Now my platoon leader covered him up with poncho or something, and he gave me instructions as we were closing up and going to try to head out. He said, "Don't look at him," which I think I'd already kind of seen a little bit as we were loading him up. But I think if I remember right, he might have partially covered him up before we even like got him on the stretcher and loaded up. But he told me not to look at him. But we were driving for 10 kilometers going down the road. And he's like right here. Those MRAPs only have so much space in the middle aisle, and he's right there. And of course, I just was curious, and I had to look.
Yeah.
So I looked, and it wasn't him.
Mm-hmm.
Getting shot in the head. So that was hard, and I like gasped, kind of like taken aback. Like I was like, "Oh my God," over the mic with my driver. And young little private. He's like, "Is everything okay?" Like, "Yeah, we're good. Just keep going."
Yeah.
So just kind of trying to keep him on the right path. And yeah, I don't know that. That's something that's etched in your mind forever.
There's a party that wished you didn't look.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I did.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, it's. I think if you've ever been in those situations, it's hard to explain it. The most recent thing is, I think, it's not to get political, but with the Kirk shooting, I found myself that night. I talked to another guy about this. Is like just watching it a few times, and I was like, at a certain point, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Because there's a part of me that had to see it really happen, and there's a part of me that was just like, what the, why am I doing this? But if I had to go back, I think I really wish I wouldn't seen it, and I think that's the same thing before. I don't know what it is in this, but I think there's, I think it's a natural thing. Unfortunately, I don't know what that is.
It is, and when I saw the same thing, having seen what I've seen, I just, that kind of messed me up. Just seeing that, I had to kind of try not to think too hard on that, I guess. But what kind of messed me up too is like my son had told me that he saw it or whatever, and I'm like, after I had seen it, I'm like, people shouldn't see that. That's the same thing. There's a lot of people out there that should not see this stuff.
Yeah,
that should not have to see that and be subjected to that. because it's it's a hard thing for a lot of people to see.
Yeah, you never forget. I mean, there's no it's
No.
it's absolutely, you don't forget that. You don't forget
No.
seeing that, and it's just a part of me was like, I've seen this. I know how this plays out.
Yeah.
But there's still this like morbid curiosity of like, I've got to see it.
Right.
I don't know, and I
Right.
mean that's just, I guess, I get it. A part of me wants to see that, right? I don't want my kids to see it, but
right.
I don't know. I mean, that's one of the unfortunate things. Is like those are the things that we all lose sleep about, and we wish we never did, but yet
curiosity.
Yeah, we seem to want to do that. I still think that with the same other people. You know what I mean? I think it's a bad part of us, right? I mean, I think that's, you never forget those. And I'm sorry that happened to you, man.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think it helped make me who I am today.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we get him lifted off in the bird, and the mission's not over. So gotta see the mission through and get all the way to Ghazni. And so we finished the mission, get to Ghazni, and I really don't think, maybe they said something to us, but I don't really knew what I was expecting or walking into. But we get to Ghazni, and Ghazni's a larger FOB. They have an airstrip and everything. They already, they pretty much tell us, hey, drop the vehicles. You don't have to go through and do your post-mission stuff. Just drop the vehicles, drop your stuff. You can come back to that in a little bit. Shuffle us over next to the flight line. And again, I don't even really fully know what's going on at that point. But they already have him like in a casket, clothes and everything. But I guess for us as the platoon to kind of walk back by and say our goodbyes and what have you. And I think it took a while we were all shaken up, but I don't think I was able to process it at that time. And we say our goodbyes, and then we all go out to the flight line, and I was kind of blown away. But almost the entire base was lined up to see him off, which was pretty cool. But everyone was lined up. They take him out, and then our return mission kind of got delayed, so we were stuck with day bags in Ghazni for like 3 days. And for those 3 days, I didn't have a change of clothes or anything, and I had to walk around with his blood and brain matter on my pants and my boots for 3 days, and had to have a constant reminder.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened, man.
Yeah, but we get back, and we get a little bit of reprieve. We get a handful of days to just kind of check ourselves and kind of get back on our feet. And I think some of the other route clearance packages kind of covered down on some of our work or some of our routes. And then we get back to it, and we kind of changed our tactics slightly, like I said. And then the rest of the deployment, we honestly had a ton of success. We did great. I wish I could tell you how many IEDs we found and uncovered. I don't remember. But we had a lot of success. We had some dismounted missions where we went down south and supported some infantry, had success there. We were up north. We also had supported some Cav scouts. They had ran into some issues, and we had to do some dismounted missions all the way out to them to kind of help clear the area, because they had a vehicle get blown up. We had to kind of clear to them so that they could kind of pull their vehicles out and get back home. And we had to dismount walk, I think it was 17 kilometers from the FOB, straight to them, and then back. So that was a long, interesting mission. And then down the road, I think the other big series of missions is where we went up to FOB Ghazni and had to come back down really close to the Pakistan border. We had a small combat outpost called Gyro out there. We had I think it was mostly infantry out there, but the routes getting to and from there were really bad. I mean, they were really small, rough routes that were just littered with IEDs and stuff. And there was a lot of even like civilian casualties that were civilian vehicles that were getting blown up and stuff. So we had to come and kind of clear it. And getting down from Ghazni to Giro, we lost our Buffalo and one of the other RGs, and I think a wrecker even got hit by an IED, because it was just, I mean, it was crazy. We were even, I mean, no one got hurt, luckily. I mean, the vehicles were well equipped to take a lot of those blasts, so no one got seriously hurt. We did have some people medevaced for TBI, whatever, from the blast, but I mean, everybody was fine and ended up coming back. So we lost a few vehicles, which also kind of hindered our entire mission. So we did kind of push forward to get to this COP, and we get there and we're having to spend an extended stay there to kind of get re-equipped and put back together. So we lose a few vehicles getting there, and then we're spending, I don't know, we probably spent about a week there maybe, just kind of living amongst them, and it was pretty rough. I mean, those are the cops where they're, burning shit, got piss tubes. It's pretty rough living out there. So we tried not to use up all their water resources and stuff. So we elected to not use up their shower water. So during this entire 15-day circle mission, we went 15 days without an actual shower, just baby wipes and whatever we could do to kind of keep ourselves clean. And but I mean, we were there for, it might have even only been 5 days, because then we got back on the route and we spent days in between there and clearing back up on another side of this, clearing back out. And we had a canine attachment that was really good to have as well, because she was a good dog. She found a number of IEDs as well. But on that mission, that's where they gave me and 3 others an ARCOM with V device for. We're not just clearing the route for us, we were clearing the route for a cav unit behind us that was trying to see their way out of this COP, and a number of others. But we were on the outskirts of this village, and we were continuously taking pop shots and fire as we were trying to clear this route, mostly dismounted, because we were down a couple of vehicles. And really, with how dangerous and treacherous that road had become, like it almost had to be cleared dismounted. Yeah. We had to get out and we had to use the dog. We had a small EOD attachment with us as well. And so myself and 3 others we were out clearing this road with a minesweeper for kilometers. I think it's something like 5 kilometers of just minesweeping. Under fire, under occasional fire. It wasn't like constant heavy fire, but we were taking fire. So that's what they awarded the ARCOM with V for, clearing under fire. And so we cleared through that route, or a section of that route with the minesweepers. But then we get to this crossroads too, where we were taking some fire and we had dismounts. We got out and we get to these crossroads and we're dismounted. I'm on the right side dismount, and our vehicles are fairly close, but they're back a little ways. We're up on this crossroads. There's real heavy ditches, V ditches that come in, and there's some bushes. And so I'm on the side of this road, and I elect to like hunker down behind this bush and we can't figure out where the fire was coming from. I'm trying to figure out, there's really just this one building on the corner, and trying to figure out where the fire is coming from. And then ends up, guy takes off on a bike down the path, and one of our gunners does get him. But then we have an EOD attachment with us as well. Some of us dismounts kind of go to load back up towards the vehicles. And I guess the EOD had found behind the bush that I was standing right behind, there was a improvised anti-personnel, like Claymore type mine that they say was actively, like, they were trying to engage it, but our vehicles just happened to be in range that our jammers were working. So it's like, well, that could have been me.
Yeah.
But then we, I don't know. I mean, we get through that mission. It was a long, arduous mission for sure. But luckily everyone came back all right from that one. And I guess, a little funny story from that. Another time we were taking fire way off in the distance, and couldn't quite tell where it's come from. But then I see like a few dudes, like probably 700-800 meters away, like they're out there and scampering across. I try to take a couple pop shots at them, and turns out it took a minute, but my platoon sergeant was right next to me. He's like, "Hold up, I think that might be they're the Afghan army." It's like, oh shit. Well, good thing none of those shots landed.
Good thing I don't know what I'm doing with this now.
Yeah.
So definitely sounds like a different deployment where you go there. Obviously, you see anybody else wounded or done
Other than TBIs and stuff like that, nothing major. That was the only real casualty. I guess the other thing that kind of, I don't want to say haunts me, but like think about sometimes, and I think I wasn't even fully aware, or just it was so chaotic in the moment that I kind of forgot. But the morning of our first mission, or that that day before in morning, I was actually supposed to be that outer security. Yeah. And then they had a change order before the mission. They're like, "Hey, no, we're going to move you to gunner, and we're going to put Burnside out here." And so, I mean, that could have been me too. Yeah.
I think it could have been anybody. I think that's just the way the cookie crumbles, or the way it works. I mean, I think that's like, no matter, hope you forgive yourself about that. You know what I mean? Or don't let it get to you, because it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just when it's your time, right? I guess.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of look at it. But so definitely different deployment. You get so could you have imagined you taking that being your first deployment like some of these other guys? Was it?
I don't know how I would have. I mean, obviously, you go into it a little more mature, having a deployment under your belt, a couple years older.
Still 22 years old.
I'm still 22 years old. Not mature by any means, but maybe a little more mature. So I think I was slightly better or more equipped to handle it than I would have at 20. I'm sure. I can't say how I would have maybe processed it at 20 versus 22, but I think having what experience I did of a deployment at least helped me to kind of stand my ground where I was.
Yeah, I think this is always interesting to tell stories, because I think I actually forget how young we were, and people are like, when this thing happened. I mean, definitely. At 22 years old, I mean, what you went through, like you're still, I mean, they say the brain doesn't fully develop for males until 25 years old. So you're seeing these very tragic moral injury type things that, like, at 22 years, 22 years, you don't know what the hell you don't know yet. No. And I mean, that's a rough thing that we forget about. A lot of this stuff happens at such an early age. It's like, where the fuck do you go from there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you come back, when do you decide that you're done with the Army?
I think I kind of had it in my head before Afghanistan even. Okay. Maybe. I know at one point I was open to maybe staying around. But I think it was probably halfway through my enlistment. I think I just kind of made up my mind. I think it was probably a handful of things, but a good part of it was just leadership. leadership will do it. I've had great leaders. Actually, when we were in Afghanistan, was probably the best leadership I've had, which I'm happy and proud that we had that while we had to endure the hardest part of my enlistment, at least. But prior to that, and other areas, maybe even not my direct line leadership, but just leadership that I was seeing get promoted up around me, seeing a lot of people that I did not see as competent leaders, people that I didn't see as being someone that should be in charge of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it hard for me to want to stick around for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I mean, these dudes could get someone killed. I don't want to be here for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a big part of it, was just leadership and seeing where things were going. And it's like, I don't know, I just didn't like how a lot of that was playing out. And I think the other part of me was like, coming from agriculture, coming from Ohio, it's like part of me just wanted to go back to a simpler life, I guess, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of get away from the chaos and go back to agriculture, farming. And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I was at.
So you come back.
Yeah.
You transition out. I think it's one of the hardest things for anybody in the military to do. I think we overestimate that. But like, what was the hardest part for you about transitioning out? Like, losing your job, losing your identity, losing the friends. Was there anything that you were struggling with in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment. I think it probably fared better for me that I that I only did 4 years instead of 16, 20 years. Like it wasn't my identity for 16, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was my identity for a little over 4 years. But no, I mean, it's always going to be an adjustment, just trying to see your way into life that's not what you've become accustomed to in previous years. I mean, I got out and I had already made up my mind I wanted to go into agriculture, but I knew I should probably take advantage of the GI Bill and go to college. So I went to Ohio State for agricultural systems management and got a bachelor's in that degree. And it was an adjustment in college too, because like, I don't feel like I could ever like fit into the college lifestyle, because I was also like 5-6 years older than all these kids. So it's like, I don't know. I just, which probably helped me keep better grades, because then I was able to just like focus on school, because I knew like, okay, me partying out with 18, 19, 20-year-olds is not where I need to be.
Yeah.
So I mostly focused on school and did pretty well and got through that.
But let's talk about that age difference, because not only is there age difference, there's an experience of life difference, right? What you've been through. So, I mean, I think that's an interesting thing for anybody. When you go back, is you're seeing, a 21-year-old kid who's, not to if I can say someone's worst day isn't their worst day, but like you've lived a long, you've lived a pretty significant life, different life for 4 years and 4 months than an 18-year-old from Lewis Center, that's going down to the Ohio State University. Your priorities a little bit different.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're kind of again like an outsider, even though you're a college kid. You're really not.
Yeah.
Even at 22, they're like, "What's up with this dude?"
Yeah. I'm pretty much just going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going there to get educated, like we should be, but
pretty much. Yeah. I didn't take advantage of much of the social aspect of college, so kind of missed out on that, I guess. But
probably not really, though.
Probably not really. Yeah. I did all right. Yeah.
So you graduated from the Ohio State University. When did you meet your wife?
I met my wife while I was in college. So I got out of the Army technically in June. I had a bunch of leave saved up, so I got out a little bit early. I think it was like May of 2013. And then it was the end of 2013. I met my wife and started seeing her. And then, I mean, we stayed together, obviously, through all of college, which probably helped me too. I mean, staying out of the social aspects of college, and spent my time with her and school.
Yeah.
And was able to focus, which I think kind of kept me on the straight and narrows.
Hmm.
And Then I get done with school. I go work with my aunt and uncle for a year and a half. They had a fertilizer company and a large farm that I helped kind of on both sides of that. But it wasn't, after a while, I realized I was like, this probably just isn't like a long-term opportunity for me. I need to probably be thinking more of a career. And then I start kind of looking around or open the doors for things. And my dad lets me know my dad also worked for the United States Department of Agriculture. So he let me know there were some openings there. And I kind of looked into that further, and it seemed like it would be a good fit. So that's where I ended up. And now I'm working for the USDA still.
We'll wait to talk about the eggs in a second, but
we don't have to crack that egg.
Oh, that's a good joke. I like it. I mean, I learned a lot about that. I mean, no one's talking about eggs and grading eggs and how many eggs are each day. I was kind of, we'll see if we have time for that. But let's talk about, you shared off camera that, you did suffer some PTS stuff. You shared some stuff on camera here about, what's going on, a little bit of survivor's guilt or thinking that way, seeing, one of your fellow platoon mates killed. Like, when did you start realizing that all this stuff caught up to you, deploying at, 20 years old to Iraq, seeing what you saw? When did you start seeing signs for you that something wasn't maybe going great, wasn't working?
Yeah. Well, like we talked about earlier, it was like never really giving myself the time to process. Mm-hmm. And I still, up until recently, have probably still not giving myself the time to process. I've done an excellent job of suppressing and just kind of burying it. I think it, in some ways, maybe it's been beneficial because you see too many people, they get trapped in what's behind them, mm-hmm. and they get stuck. And so I've done a really good job about not putting myself there. And I've just always been about moving forward, mm-hmm. like what's in front of me and moving forward. But I've also not allowed myself to process it and think about it or put myself back there. And
I love that, not get stuck. I mean, it's a huge term that I'm very accustomed to. Yeah. We put a spike in ourselves and get stuck.
Yeah.
And these things. Right. But I mean, have you grieved it? Have you grieved what's happened to you? Have you grieved, losing,
little here and there.
Yeah.
I think as maybe I hit a point where I do allow myself to maybe think about it, grieve it, process it, just the whole thing. And then, but then I kind of go back into suppression mode. It's like, all right, well, I got to move forward. But I don't know. I really haven't talked to anyone about any of that really. Until recently, I've kind of started to open up to a couple people, and I didn't want to. It wasn't necessarily easy at first, mm-hmm. but I think it's probably been good for me to at least just get it out.
Yeah.
Just what I've seen or experienced. And also, I don't know, sometimes I know that there are people that have experienced far more than I have. So I don't want to feel like, I don't know, like I've experienced something catastrophically horrible.
Well, dude, you have. I mean, you have. I mean, that's the whole thing. I made a joke about, the college kids, but it's a pretty significant thing that's happened to you. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to process it. I mean, and I applaud your courage for coming on here and sharing that. I know you haven't shared a lot of this, and I know you've been nervous about it. And dude, it really means a lot that you feel comfortable to talk about it and share that. And I just have it as that's the way we get through this stuff. That's the way we, instead of compartmentalize it and pretend it didn't happen, it's okay that it happened. I mean, it's not okay, but I mean, it happened, and it's okay to be open. It's overweight. It's okay for it to overwhelm you, right? Like, don't compare it to other things that happened to you. That's a pretty significant thing. Some people listen and could be absolutely like, holy shit. Yeah. There's no reason to say, oh, it's not as bad as this, so then I can't grieve. But I mean, I think it's important to grieve what happened to for me, that's what I didn't do. Right. I had to pretend like it didn't, I pretended like it didn't bother me. I pretended like it wasn't a big deal, but it really was. I mean, you wake up seeing those things, you think these things, you're sad, you're angry, you're all these kind of things, but you don't want to,
I think I wanted to minimize it for too long.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know. I think I wanted to minimize it because sometimes, like, it took me a long time to come around and accept that maybe I do have some aspects of PTSD.
Yeah, me too.
It took me a while to accept that. Like, I didn't want to be one of those people that just ran to the disability office to claim, hey, I have PTSD. I just want to be too proud maybe to accept that I had some problems to work through. And I'm still working through it.
Yeah.
But and also I think in part of the being too proud thing, maybe it's also like why I don't think what I've done is more than some people. Like I think back to like World War II veterans, like some of the stuff they had to endure. It's like what I did was nothing compared to what some. So it's a comparison thing, and
but that's a story, man. Like that.
Yeah.
That's just you trying to.
Yeah.
But back, I just want to say this. I want you to hear this.
Yeah.
You could either hear it or not.
Yeah.
Because at your age, I was in denial still. So don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't wait 20 some years before you.
Yeah.
The pride and not want to feel like you're broken.
Yeah.
Not want to tell people how you really feel because it costs a lot.
Yeah.
Right. It costs more than hey, I'm just not doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm not doing okay about this. I'm just having a hard time about what happened. That's okay. So please don't, that's not a winning formula, man.
Yeah.
And I only tell you that out of experience. Like I don't know how many podcasts you listen to, but I did. I mean, I've denied for over 20 years that I didn't have PTS.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The whole time around me, everybody knew it. Everybody saw it. Everybody was like, hey, something's not right. Something's not right. And I'm like, everything's fine. And the same thing you're saying was running through my mind. Like, hey, I got to look good.
Yeah.
But I got to look tough. I got to look like it didn't bother me because if I say it bothered me, then guess what? People, call you pussy or whatever you want to call it. But guess what? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like who gives a fuck what they think? Right.
Yeah.
That I wanted to come out like unscathed in this stuff. And the other part is I didn't want to say that I was fucking scared and sad. And these things happened to me that really hurt me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you're on the journey, man. Like, I would have never talked about these things. There's no way in hell I would have talked about this on camera 20 years ago. So kudos to you to be able to open up and be honest, but just promise me or just, promise yourself that, let it flow, man. It's okay to mourn it. Find other guys to talk about it. You can always talk to me. There's tons of people that want to listen, there's no judgment, man. And there's no like, this guy did that. That's all just a story that we make up to try to, again, minimize what happened to us. I mean, it's pretty impactful to be riding with a dead body and an MRAP for however many miles, right? That's a big fucking deal, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry, like whatever emotion you're feeling.
Yeah. I think I'm learning that. I mean, like I said, opening up recently a little bit more about it to a couple of people. I think it's helped me to realize that, it's okay that maybe I'm a little fucked up.
For it to be that. We all are, yeah. You jumped out of perfect good airplane. Yeah, you're fucked up.
Well, there's that.
Oh, parts of us are scared. Parts of us are still scared 8-year-old kids, right? Yeah. It's okay. Some of us are scared 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keep talking about it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's been my way out of that. Those feelings of, feeling weak or inferior. Like I said, you can judge me all you want and say, but my worst day is my worst day. Your worst day is your worst day.
Right. Yeah.
We got no right. And honestly, we've talked about this before. We fucking do that in our own culture. That's the problem too. We got to stop doing it in the military because guys do,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
Yeah. They hear that and they say, well, this happened to me, or whatever. It's just all they're they're full of shit too. So
yeah. Can't ever make comparisons.
No.
It's not a healthy thing to do, but maybe I'm learning that too.
Yeah. I'm sorry that happened to you, man. I really am. And I'm glad, like I can't say it enough. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
That you were able to talk about it and they came on here and do that. Cause there's no way I would have not done it. No, I'm perfectly fine. Everything's great.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And we're human. We got to talk about that stuff. We got to share it with people that can understand it and give us the support we need.
Right. Yeah.
Which ties into a great promo. If parts of your life aren't working, you are struggling with PTS, I got a place for you, Save a Warrior.
Yeah.
It's just here in Hillsborough. So it's sorry, I'm on my own here. But Save a Warrior here is down in Hillsborough, Ohio. It's the premier location, I believe, in the world that's dealing with complex PTS. It's a 72-hour program. And then as the bottom quote says, give us 72 hours and we'll change the way you see and live your life. And that's from Jay Clark, the founder. So, that's why I had the courage to start talking about all that stuff and really kind of understand what was happening with me and all the stories I'd attached to it, how I was stuck, how I didn't want to, I feared looking bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Or just, I guess getting in your head, and you don't want to feel vulnerable. You don't want to feel weak, because especially as you go on with your life, you got wife, kids, and you got a lot of things you're trying to accomplish. And last thing you want to do is look back and feel weak. I guess for me, I just want to move forward, and what can I accomplish going forward?
Yeah, and I'm not saying go back to it and like relive the stuff or let you I have the things that happened in the past that happened, right? I don't have a story assigned to it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. There's no story to it. That's what happened. Right.
Yeah. Leave it at that.
There's no, I'm not dragging back to, I'm not looking back. It's what happened to me. It doesn't have to define me. It doesn't mean this happened to me and I was sad about it and I cried. That doesn't mean I'm weak.
Right.
It means I'm fucking human.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not about getting stuck, but it's also just being, understanding that source of trauma and being like, this is what happened and being okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being able to talk about it. And then some days when you're not okay with it, to be able to talk about it in a healthy way. I mean, the healthy way to do is to talk about it like we're doing right now, right? Because what else we did? We start numbing, we start drinking, we start, gambling, we start doing all these other things like, it's doom scrolling, isolating, all these other things. So you didn't burst into flames right now, right? Yeah. Saying this?
No.
Right.
No.
I've never known anybody that's ever shared anything that's never burst into flame and died after they've done it, like including myself. That was a big thing. I thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, look what's going to happen to me. I mean, it's freeing. I mean, that's the way to put that in the past, where you're not stuck, but you're also not, you're not compartmentalizing things. You're not, because I just have it that those things will come out at some time. So like, I'm glad you're talking about it.
Yeah.
I know I keep saying that, but
yeah, no, it's been good. I was about to say something. I forget what I was going to say. Yeah.
So what, I mean, knowing your experience, what would you, if someone's listening to other veterans that had that's had what's happened to you, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would just say don't hold it in a compartment behind you. Try to allow yourself to be comfortable talking about it and putting it out there and just releasing it. Because, I mean, if you're just holding it in, not talking to anyone, then it's not being released. And it's kind of just something, even if you don't live there and allow it to hold you captive completely, it's still something that's maybe hindering you and holding you back.
Yeah.
And you just get it out. And I mean, if you are having a hard time, I mean, there's always someone that's willing to listen.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's great advice. I mean, I'll just put this up real quick. Sorry, I'm on my own here. I keep saying that, but yeah, I mean, you can talk to, another veteran or anybody else, but again, all the time when we talk about this, the most important thing is there's resources out there. You can't call it the Veterans Crisis Hotline. You could dial 988 and press 1, or you can also chat at veteranscrisisline.net/chat, or you can text at 838-255. And like I said, just talking about it. Do you remember the first person you told it about when you talked about it?
I mean, for years going back, I've maybe beat around the bush or hinted at, or maybe put a little plug, but I never really went into it. never got it out. But recently I've talked to a couple buddies and have kind of opened up about some things, and it's been, I think, freeing.
Yeah.
It also has helped me probably have a stronger connection to them, because now they maybe see more of what's been going on with me, and I mean, me being vulnerable with them, they can probably be vulnerable with me, and it just opens up a whole new channel. So I think it's a healthy thing to do for not just you, but the person you're opening up to.
Yeah, were they veterans that you told them about, or were they?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a powerful thing right there, because that's one of the things I think a lot of us get wrapped up to. Like, it's got to be a veteran I talk to, and I think it's just anybody, man. There's a ton of people who want to listen.
Right.
And there's no judgment.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I think we get too proud that we have to tell some other veteran about this for them to really understand it. And it's not. I mean, it's basic. You know, moral injury. You know.
I think sometimes talking to a veteran is nice, because you have that shared connection and can relate to things, but there are other people in your life that want to help you and hear you. If there's something that needs to be said, they want to hear it. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, that's powerful. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of us, because I think too, sometimes talking to a veteran, depending on who it is, can be just as bad. Because like you said, they're like, well, this happened to me. It's not that big a deal. Or you you feel like, you know, if you know their story, you start to be like, man, I can't talk to this person because I know that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I felt the same way. Like when you're talking to somebody and, you know, they're missing a leg and an arm, and you're talking about you know, what happened to you. You're I'd be like, oh shit, like who am I to even say anything when this guy's, you know, lost limbs or whatever, you know what I mean? But you know, that's just, again, that's just bullshit. That's just a story. Right. But yeah, whoever you can talk to, I think that's the powerful thing. The key is just like you said, to talk about it, get it out. And really, I don't think there's, you know, I don't feel like I've been treated any different than anybody that I've been, you know, that I've been honest with, talk to stuff about.
Yeah. I mean, one person I shared with was my brother, who's a firefighter EMT. So he's, I mean, you know, he's seen stuff too. And, but he was good to talk to and talk through this with. But,
So now that you just started doing that, what do you think? How was that affecting your life, holding it in?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that have impacted my life. And, I mean, since then and through, I mean, back in 22, I lost my mom to cancer. She had battled cancer for years and years, and then she passed away in 22. And I think we've all had a hard time with that. But I did a pretty good job about not being a heavy drinker up until then, like losing my mom and then just resurfacing a lot of other things. I think I had probably drank more in the last 3 years than I have probably the whole time I was in the military, which probably wasn't always healthy. But I've found a way to keep it in check now. I mean, I'm not ruling out that I'm not going to drink. I'm going to drink. But I don't allow myself to just drown myself, I guess.
No, it makes sense, man. I'm sorry about your mom. Yeah, I lost my mom to cancer as well. It sucks, man.
Yeah. Not an easy one, but just another thing I'm working through.
I feel like you're working through it pretty well, though. You seem like you.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
So let's talk about some good stuff. Let's talk about these 6 kids you got. What's life being a dad of 6 kids?
Challenging also.
Age 16 to what?
16 down to a 9-month-old.
Wow,
10-month-old.
You're just beating yourself hard with that.
Yeah. It's been a journey in itself. I mean, a good one. I love all my kids to death, but it's a lot when you have a bunch of little ones. I mean, we got 5 of them that are under 8 years old, so they're all pretty young, and that's a lot. That's a lot,
dude. I am so glad to be on the other side of it now, because I mean, all of mine were under, you know, they were all 2 years apart, so it's still. I mean, 3 of them, like there's points, and I was like, what did I do to myself? And I'd see these people have twins, or like 6 of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, like how would I?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I grew up in a large family, so. I feel like I'm more equipped than some to maybe adapt and be used to raising a bunch of kids, but you still hit a limit. Like, I mean, really, I think we were at our limit with our last one, but then we had one more. It's
so fun to make them though. I mean, to be realistic.
That's right. But no, I mean, we had this last one, a little baby boy, and we're like, all right, yep, this is it. We're done.
So here's a question I have, and a serious question about that. So I found as a dad with 3 kids, I was lucky enough to have kids that were all, they played sports. Nobody's like a band guy.
Yeah.
They're all very different, but they were all sports oriented. So like we had that common bond, right?
Yeah.
But what's it like? I mean, because I always struggle, to be honest with you. I feel like there wasn't enough time for me to give like 3 kids their own time, because especially as they get older. Do you ever, I mean, how is it with 6 kids? I mean, do you feel like,
yeah, it's,
I mean, you have like a
challenging, but
designated, does that something that goes through your mind, or is
sometimes, especially now, I think about it a little bit more, because obviously I felt that as a kid. I was the oldest of 8, and at a certain age, I kind of felt like I was just kind of put on the back burner, you know, like there's these little ones that required more attention, and it's like, you're old enough, you're going to have to figure it out. So I do think about that some, and I try to give them attention individually when and where I can. I try to be present and conscious of that. Obviously, sometimes it's hard, it's difficult. Life is chaotic. We got busy lives. All the kids are playing sports essentially. So it's just, it is busy, but I mean, I try to when and where, like my younger boy, not the baby, but Judah, he's 5 now, and I got him playing flag football, which I'm super excited about. And he's actually picking it up really quickly, and it's fun because he just loves to go out and throw the ball. He just wants to practice. And it's like, awesome, let's go throw the ball. So that's fun. And I mean, the girls are always wanting my attention too, obviously. But
so how old are the girls?
7, 4, and 2. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
No wonder you're like, yeah, sure, I'll come do the podcast. I got to get it now. I'm kidding about
I needed a break.
And your wife did not hear that, by the way.
No.
So, I mean, it is, you know, do you think you're more in tune to, like you said, because you grew up in a big family? I mean, that like.
I do think so. And I mean, I think especially maybe because I'm the oldest and I did actually have a hand in helping with the younger ones. I mean, there's 12 years between me and the youngest. So, I mean, really, me and my brother that's a year younger than me, but I mean, a lot of me from like 10 to say 15. I mean, I was doing a lot of helping with the kids. So
you kind of unburden those kids now with that, dude? Do you try to not parent? You have them parenting too a little bit?
Oh, a little bit. I mean, Carter's 16 now, and he's helped out some, but all the younger ones are they're a handful. For him especially. So we try not to overburden him.
Yeah, I saw a video, and it was like something like the benefit of having a kid that are like 16 years apart, and the 3-year-old is like in the driveway throwing a temper tantrum, like the bag's over there, and the mom is like trying to reason with it, and then the brother comes up and just grabs the backpack, throws it into the SUV, and then grabs the kid and like shoves him in the car. So but geez, 6.
Yep, this is my life. So
the next question about that is, how much does it cost to take a family of 8 out to a restaurant now?
Well, we don't do that.
Touche.
Point. No, we mostly we'll get pizza to go. How about that? No, occasionally we'll go eat, but we don't make a habit of that because it's a lot. It's a lot at this age. I mean, when they're all a little older, it gets worse.
Now they have the kids meal. It's like kids meal is like $12.
It'll get more expensive, but it will not be as much of a hassle. Like trying to keep everyone in line. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot.
Yeah, taking 7 out to a restaurant would be wild.
Yeah,
or 6. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 6.
7 being you, but I just can't imagine. I'm just loving like my new life now. I don't think I've been to Costco in like 3 weeks. It's the longest I've ever been. I'm not going to Costco.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
We do a lot of Costco.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, it was just, it's like, you're in the throes of it right now. It gets better. It gets better. I promise.
No, I know
it gets worse before it gets better, but it gets better.
Yeah. No, I think I can see a little glimmer of light as like my son's starting to play flag football and get excited about that. Like stuff like that gets me excited for where
So
things are headed.
So I do have a question though here. So it says, we know we've talked about the kids, you got 3 of them, but it says your hobbies here include snowboarding, golfing, and spending time with friends. How are you squeezing that in?
Not much anymore.
Okay.
But
those were your, I didn't say, okay, were hobbies.
Yeah,
okay,
were
gotcha.
my hobbies, should asterisk that. Yeah.
Hobbies were.
Yeah. I used to always love going on snowboarding trips with me and 3 of my high school buddies. We'd make a habit of going once a year out west, or it was mostly out west. But we'd always pick a new destination out in the Rockies or wherever, and go snowboarding at least once a year. Sometimes locally a couple other times, but at least once a year we'd get together and go snowboarding. And then golfing, I'm not great, but I do enjoy getting to go out, have a couple brews and golf around.
We got the Ryder Cup starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go Team USA. Well, I got a couple more serious questions and we'll call it a night. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So the one question I had before the last one is if you could leave, tonight's listeners with one message about overcoming struggle and finding purpose after service, what would you, what message would you have?
I mean, I think we kind of already tapped that or touched on it, but just allowing yourself to be okay with being vulnerable and opening up to people that maybe you don't think want to hear it, but they are completely open to hearing it.
Yeah.
And just accepting that, it's okay if you're not okay, but it's good to get that out and talk to someone and get help where you think you might need help.
Yeah, I think you hit on what the second question was going to be, so I don't think I need it.
Yeah, what was that?
No, I was just saying, I've said, you've been vulnerable to talk about your struggles, with the epidemic that's going on. I do call it an epidemic with, the war class, veteran suicide. What is the one thing that you think needs to be done that's not being done to help end it?
Yeah.
So I think kind of sounds like what you just said, being vulnerable, talking about it.
Yeah.
Kind of hit on it. So,
yeah. Yep. I think that's it.
Anything else you want to chat about? You want to talk about the eggs?
I mean, I don't crack eggs, but I grade eggs for a living, working for the USDA.
No, we were talking. The only thing I'll say is we were talking about the numbers, that you grade the eggs. We were talking about the numbers. So it was the chicken.
Yeah.
Hatchery, not hatchery. What is it? Chicken farm? What do we call it? Chicken.
Yeah, it's a chicken egg farm where I don't work back in the barns with the chickens themselves. Right. I work in the processing facility where all the eggs come funneling in, and during a normal busy day, on any given day, they're going to be producing like 150,000 dozen of eggs. So it's a lot of eggs. It's a lot of eggs
in one location. I was shocked by that, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it's not a terribly exciting job, but it's a good job for me. It's got good benefits, location, hours are great, and then allows me the freedom to continue to help on my family farm as well. So me and my brother continue to help my dad farm, which is great and something I want to continue to do. So
you got the 6 kids out there working too? You get
almost,
them out there?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, they're going to be running a tractor before you know it. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys still have them. So glad your dad sells the farm. I'm sure you're going to pass that down. It's a huge thing to have. So
yeah, that's the plan. That's what we'd like to see. Kind of everyone be able to get their hand in it and help on the farm. Cause I think we all valued, like me and my brothers valued what we came from on the farm, and we want to see our children have a piece of that.
I think you need to get Josh out there more often.
Yeah.
Get him back out there.
Yeah. Going to have to. I get him out there to help me bale straw once a year.
How's he do?
He does all right. Yeah. Does all right.
not bad for an uncle, huh?
Yeah.
Not bad for a leg.
Yeah.
Gosh. Gotta throw in a joke on that. So anything else you want to chat about?
Got nothing on the top of my head.
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on. I
appreciate
I'll
it.
do a formal thank you, but we'll get to the part of the evening that I hate the most. But tonight we're going to honor a veteran who unfortunately took his life. Tonight we honor U.S. Navy Petty Officer 3rd Class Brent Matthew Simpson, 47. Brent was born on June 3rd, 1977. Brent took his life on July 4th, 2024 in Charlotte, North Carolina. After graduating from high school, Brent enlisted in the United States Navy as an operations specialist with the military police for 4 years. After leaving the U.S. Navy, Brent joined joined the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. Brent was a graduate of the 148th recruiting class and served as with the CMPD since 2006. At the time of his death, Brent was assigned to the KMPD K-9 unit and faithfully served alongside his K-9 partner Levi for 6 years. As a police instructor for the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, Brent taught hundreds of Charlotte's finest police officers. Brent's true love was as a K-9 officer. When not working, Brent wrote poetry, dabbled in woodworking, taught jiu-jitsu where he was a black belt, and attempted to cook his wife amazing meals. Brent is survived by his wife Gina, parents Gary and Kathy, stepmom Debbie, grandmother Jewel, brother Brian, sisters Carrie and Cindy, nieces Haley and Meredith, K-9 partner Levi, and numerous other relatives and brothers and sisters in blue. And please, if you or someone you know is in crisis and might be considering suicide, please contact the Veterans Crisis Line at 988 or 1-800-273-8255 and press 1, or text 838-255, or chat online at veteranscrisisline.net/chat. So again, I did want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Thank you for coming in. I'm excited to share with a former paratrooper.
Yeah, absolutely.
I should have told you to bring your beret or something, but
I could have.
It's okay.
Dang it.
But and since we had the opportunity, it is the 82nd podcast, so we have to end it again with another great. I think there's some. We're talking about great Marine quotes, right? I always say that, but there's some really great 82nd quotes too. I gotta say that too.
Oh yeah, there are.
This is one of my favorite ones too. This is from
I see
the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah.
This is a famous quote from PFC Thomas Martin. He says, "Well, buddy, just pull that vehicle behind me. I'm the 82nd Airborne, and this is as far as they are going."
Yep, that's a good one.
That's a great quote. So it's always great to be able to throw out the 82nd quotes. I do want to thank you for coming in, Alan, and sharing your story. Being vulnerable, it means a lot to me to do that. And again, it was an honor to have you down here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah. And a couple little side notes we got going on. We do want to throw out a thank you to the Loose Rail Brewing Company for being the benefactor for their recent block party. Thank you guys very much. It was really powerful to see the Ports with Patriots logo up there on the stage, and we really thank you for sponsoring us and sponsoring some other first responder organizations here in the Central area. Real quick, another announcement we have is we have some big stuff coming up here. I'll show you here, but this is an event that's going to be happening with On Your Six Bourbon Company. We're going to be at Opa Grill and Tavern the night before we have a podcast on Wednesday, October 29th. And we'll have one of the owners, who's a former Navy SEAL, Mike, on the podcast the next day. So come out and do that. We're going to have some great events going on. I'm sure we're going to have a fundraiser there, some type of fundraising event, some type of raffle, but you're going to have $6 On Your Six Bourbon drinks. I just noticed that they're playing a lot on the sixes there. So looking forward to that. Mike's coming in from Virginia Beach, Virginia. So we're looking forward to having him, and we'll be broadcasting this or promoting this a lot more on the site as the month goes along. And do want to finally put up the calendar here. I think we just filled December, I'm pretty sure. So we're filling up for January 2025. We've got some Navy guys coming in, and we have some of my Saul brothers that will be coming on to finish out the year. So I'm looking forward to that. But please, if you know anybody that'd like to be on the podcast, you can vouch. We do feed you pretty well, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Plenty food. Plenty drink.
You got to put up with my dad a little bit, but it's pretty good though. Other than that, we try to keep you away from my dad as much as you can, but it's a good time.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the hospitality.
Okay. Awesome. So again, brother, I'd like to thank you for coming on. It's been an honor and privilege to sit down and get to know you. Yeah. I've been looking forward to it, and hopefully it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be. No, it went well. Awesome. I think. Great. Well, everyone, we're going to call it a night. We will talk to everybody here and see you guys in a couple of weeks. Have a great night. Thank you.